We got about 9 minutes. So, RC, when you look at your bracket, do you have a Cinderella on your bracket that you've got making the second weekend? Is there a team that you have pinpointed?
You know what? I like VCU over BYU. I think BYU is the popular pick because they're so good, they're so gifted offensively. And I'd be lying if I'd say to you I wasn't picking this with my heart, with Ryan Odom. But again, we're talking about the same Ryan Odom that once took a 16 seed and upset a number 1 seed. So I know he'll have his team prepared. That's a game I'm looking at. And I'll say this. Can I say this, Francis? I'm scared to put this on paper, but I'm going to say it. Louisville and Auburn and Lexington, Kentucky can get real scary. And I'll just leave it at that.
Wow.
Getting Rain Smith back could get scary in Lexington.
Well, you're going to have the crowd behind you. They're going to be rooting for the upset. You have a top 21 10-pound defense, so you do guard. Louisville guards. I mean, RC, you had them throughout the year.
They play hard.
And you have to. You can't leave Auburn shooters open. If you do it, you're going to pay. And I think they've got the versatility to like for me, RC. Tell me if I'm wrong here, and then Tyler gets you on this. Auburn's lost 3 of 4, and if you look at their shooting figures from the perimeter, Janai Broome is still doing Janai Broome things. But what made Auburn so dangerous is that Tahad Pettiford and Chad Baker-Mazara, they get cooking, and it's like it's all downhill from there because Kelly and Jones, they figure right into that puzzle too. If you were scheming, would you say, you know what? Janai's going to do what Janai does. We've got to find a way to hold them, to have a shot to beat them. We got to hold them to 30% or less from 3. Fair or not fair?
I think Auburn's just too big. I think you have guys like Cardwell. I think they're too talented and too deep. But like RC said, I'll give Louisville credit. What they've done this year has by far exceeded my expectations. And the Chucky Hepburn kid, I watched him light up Carolina. And when you have a guy like him, not only does he light you up, but he makes smart plays. He's not going to let Louisville beat Louisville. Like, you're going to have to go out there and win that game. And if they do get a lead and they play that late, take it late and they have a close game late in the game, I tell you, having the ball in Hepburn and letting him do it, he can guard anybody on that court as well. That's where I see Louisville sneaking this one out. But that's a stretch for me. I just don't see Louisville being able to hang with Auburn. They're too big and they have too many guys.
No, I said the same thing. I just think only reason I'm even giving Louisville a chance in that. First of all, let me say this. I don't know what metrics went into making Louisville an 8 seed. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. I think it's unfair even Auburn to even have to be in this situation. Like, this team finished second in the league and they beat Clemson twice, and Clemson's a 5 seed. Like, I don't understand. That's why I'm saying it from a standpoint of Auburn. Forget the 3 or 4 losses because it's they lost to some good teams. It has nothing to do with that. I'm not worried about how they finished the year. But this Louisville team is a damn good team. Like, they are much better than an 8th seed. Like, that's crazy. And that's why I'm saying in Kentucky, you're essentially playing a team that should be minimum of 4th seed. Minimum of 4th seed. And you're playing them in Lexington is why I'm saying this. Not that I agree. I think the front line of Auburn is really strong and an issue. But Fanta, an 8th seed, bro, to be playing that team in the second round, that's like, damn.
If I drafted the 8 and 9 seeds, listen to the 8 and 9 seeds. Louisville and Creighton. Creighton, who owns 2 wins over UConn and was a 9 seed. Oh, by the way, they beat Marquette. Oh, by the way, they beat St. John's, who's a 2 seed.
Right.
Oh, by the way, they beat Kansas.
Right.
UConn and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Mississippi State and Baylor. And Gonzaga and Georgia. maybe if you want to make the case of really good Gonzaga. But I take undoubtedly Louisville's the best of the 8 or 9s. And I would say, RC, that the second best 8 or 9 is actually Creighton.
Creighton, yeah. Yeah.
And they got to play each other, man. That impacts things. Tyler, who's your Cinderella?
You guys are both going to laugh at this. My Cinderella is Kansas. Now, look at this. You're viewing it wrong.
I like it.
You're viewing it wrong. Now listen. I think actually Kansas, I think they're going to get past Arkansas, but I am nervous there because Arkansas has the talent. They just haven't clicked all year except for when they went to Kentucky and smashed Kentucky at Rupp. And I think that if Kansas can keep it close against St. John's and make it a 1-possession or 2-possession game late in the game, I think they can sneak that out. I think Kansas has the talent and has the ability to win these games. And if they match up against Texas Tech later on down the bracket, they've already beat them. They've already proven they have the ability to beat Texas Tech. So that's where I see Kansas can make a little bit of a Cinderella story. Now, the reason I'm saying they're kind of a sleeper team is because they're seeded and they haven't been consistent all year. But Kansas can make a run. They have a talent.